Happy Friday. How is everybody doing? All right, y'all. Well, it is day 60 of the 77-day video challenge. I'm really excited. I've made it this far. The whole reason why I began this journey was inspired by my friend Darren LaCroix, and I have struggled with consistency in the past, and I was like, I'm going to do this. This is going to help me. And what a journey it's been. What a journey. So in the last, let's see, today is what? Part 5, I think? Part 4? Part 5? I'm losing track. I decided to share my story, but the full story, not just the part about the addiction, but like the whole thing. And so I've been sharing just small increments in each video. And so in the last video is where I talked about the journey from pretty much when I got married up to 2003, 2004, when I started competing in fitness competitions, and I actually made it to the national championships twice and placed 5th in the world. And so it was an amazing time. I loved it. So much fun. And I actually have I pulled out some pictures to show you guys. I thought this was kind of fun, but I moved to Austin in 1998. I majored in theater and dance at UT, Texas. And then I met my husband while I was in school, and so life changed. I thought I was going to be a professional dancer and go to New York and do all that, but we got married and decided to stay in Austin. So I got a job teaching dance and gymnastics. So let me see, there. Look at these sweet little babies. So much fun. So I did that. And then my husband and I moved to Conroe for a little bit for a business opportunity. I went to a gym where there was a lot of bodybuilders and fitness competitors, and so I was like, oh, I want to check this out. So I went to my first show, fell in love. I was like, this is perfect for me because I have a dance and gymnastics background. And so I did my first competition, and I actually did 2 competitions back to back. And this one was the 2002, the Ronnie Coleman Classic. Sorry, my light is kind of, there we go. I came in like super lean. It is really hard to get those abs. Let me tell you what, some serious discipline right there. As soon as that competition was over, I think I lost my abs in like 2 weeks. So anyways, 2003 was my first national championship in Las Vegas. It was so much fun. If you're in fitness, like a fitness competitor does, I don't know if they have it anymore now, but back in 2003, I did a routine, and I had, it was James Brown music, all his songs kind of mixed, and I wore this outfit, guys. I don't know if you can see it, but it was like this little pimp outfit, and I even had a cigar in my mouth. That was how the routine started. And then I told you guys how I did a flip off the top stage. I did an aerial off the top stage onto the bottom stage, and then I threw out my cigar to the audience, and I ripped off the coat, and then I was like, doing some dance stuff. Man, I miss those abs. And then some strength moves, and then of course some gymnastics. I was doing tumbling across the stage. Gosh, my knees would not handle that now. And then just just kind of flirting and having fun with the audience. So I just wanted to share those. It's kind of fun to go down memory lane. But y'all, today I'm going to talk about how I went from those days of fitness competitions disciplined, just, so much structure in my life, and, I was doing well in my Christian walk, and everything was good. And then in 2004, things changed. So at that time, my husband and I, we ended up moving back to Austin, and we finally were like, we gotta dig in. We're gonna, buy a house. And so I had to quit my job of teaching dance because it just didn't pay the bills. And so I ended up going to a temp agency and got this office job, and this company really liked me, so they ended up hiring me on full time. And it was a drug research company, and they ended up putting me in the regulatory department, which is for people who are detail oriented, and that's not me at all. I'm the big picture type of person. And so at the time, I was just really unhappy with my job. I was not happy. I'll just say that. And then my husband and our marriage was not doing well. We were arguing all the time. We were struggling financially, just a lot of things going on. And then I had to take a break from competing in fitness competitions because I just didn't have the time. I was, working full time, and to train for fitness competitions where I had to train the gymnastics part of it, and then I also had to train in the gym to develop muscle. I just had to take a break. I couldn't do it all. And so that was my passion. That's it kept me. I don't know about you guys, but I have to have a goal to look forward to keep me motivated and keep going to the gym. And so all that was gone. And so in my last video, I talked about how in 2001, my husband suffered an elbow injury at work, and he went to the doctor, and they gave him a prescription for tramadol, which is a mild pain medication. And one day I was in the bathroom getting ready for work and saw the bottle of pills sitting on the counter, and curiosity came over me, and I was like, I wonder what it's like. I'm gonna try one, because I had heard of people who had taken pain pills, anxiety pills, anti-anxiety pills with a glass of wine and just, take the edge off. And so I took one, and I absolutely loved the way it made me feel. It gave me energy, it gave me a sense of euphoria, but really what it did for me is that it gave me confidence. Confidence that I had been lacking since the age of 13, when everything changed in my life. And so I finally felt like I could be myself. And during that time, though, I didn't become addicted right away. I was just taking it every now and then, maybe once every 2 weeks. It wasn't really a big deal. I was getting them from illegal online pharmacies. I was buying them from Mexico and just different countries overseas. And so yeah, it was just every now and then from 2001 to 2004. So in 2004, when I got this job and I just wasn't happy, my marriage was not doing well, and I wasn't competing anymore, and just kind of fell into a depression, really. Just wasn't happy with my life. And so at the time, I started taking the pills every day just to get through my day. And that is when I became a full-blown drug addict. I was taking tramadol every day, several times a day, and it got up to, I was taking 15 pills a day. And I knew within a couple of weeks, I knew I had a problem. I knew. I was like, this is not right. This is not who I am. And I was like, I have to quit. This is crazy. Like, what am I doing? This is not me. And so I quit cold turkey and became incredibly sick. So sick that I could not function. I could not go to work. I was shaking. I had major stomach issues. I mean, it was awful. Awful, awful, awful. And nobody knew. Nobody knew, including my very own husband. He knew about when I was taking them just every now and then, when I first started. But in 2004, when I started taking them every day, he didn't know. And so after about 5 or 6 days of just being sick as can be, and I was telling everybody I had the flu to get around my lie, at that time I was like, I can't do this, I'm so sick. So I got back on the pills. But this time there was no benefit. So there was no high. I took them just to feel normal. If any of you have ever struggled with an addiction to pills, you know what I'm talking about. There was no high, there was no euphoria, it didn't make me confident. It just literally kept me from being sick. And that, my friends, is where I got stuck. I was stuck because I wasn't telling anyone, and I was taking them just to feel normal, and I knew I had a problem, and I desperately wanted to tell someone. I remember going to see my doctor just for my annual exam, and I remember I was this close to telling her, hey, I think I have a problem. And I couldn't do it. And the reason why I couldn't do it is because my pride, my ego, fear of what would happen. I thought, oh my gosh, if I tell my husband, he's going to divorce me. If I tell my family, they're going to think I'm the worst person in the world, and they're probably never going to talk to me again. I thought my friends would leave. I just thought all of these horrible things would happen if I told someone that I had a problem. And then shame entered my heart and my soul. And shame, my friends, can keep you so stuck. But here's the deal. I was a full-blown drug addict, okay? Yet, I looked like I looked now. I looked normal. I was able to function. I was able to go to work. I was able to, do chores around the house. I was able to just live a normal life, get up, go to work, come home, go to the gym, that kind of thing. I was able to function. Yet, inside, I was dying, because shame was just taking over. And here I am. I'm a Christian. I know God can set me free. But I just couldn't do it. I could not come out and ask for help. And then I was lying. I was lying to my husband. I was lying. I was opening up credit cards in my name. I was ordering these pills from different pharmacies all over, from different countries. FedEx was coming and delivering these packages, and I knew what was inside them. I knew they were pills. Yeah, so that was my life. And I hid it. I would hide the pills all over my house so that, my husband couldn't find them. Nobody could find them. And the tramadol, again, I wasn't getting high. It was just, it kept me from getting sick. It helped me feel normal. So I'm going to stop there. Whew, because 2006, 2007 is when Ambien was introduced to me. Ambien is the drug that took me down hard, and absolutely ripped my family apart. And there's some really tough stories beginning 2006, 2007. So I'm going to save that for the next video. My friends, if you think that you have a problem, if you get a prescription and it says on there, take one every 4 to 5 hours, don't exceed 4 in a day or 5 in a day, and you find yourself taking more than prescribed, pay attention to that. And if you feel like you do have a problem, I promise you, asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of strength, and it is a sign of wisdom. And I promise you, people want to help. People want to help, and people will appreciate you coming forward and revealing what it is that you're struggling with, rather than your spouse finding out, or your family finding out, or some horrible consequence happens, like you get a DUI or something like that, and then you have to come forward and explain why. So if you're scared, I understand. I've been there. And if you want to talk to someone, I'm here, and it's a safe space here with me, and I'm more than happy to listen. I'm more than happy to provide resources and just to give you some hope, because I promise you, if you find yourself having a problem, maybe it's not pills, maybe it's alcohol, maybe it's porn, maybe it's eating too much. It could be so many things. If you find yourself stuck in that vicious cycle, I promise you there is a way out. There is hope. I struggled for 15 years, and now I've been free and in recovery for, it's going to be 8 years in March. So I promise you there is hope. So thanks for listening today. I'm going to go more into my story in the next video. And some really tough stories. So bear with me. And that's it for today. I love you. I'm here for you. And I promise you, you will get through this. And if you personally don't struggle with this, but you know of someone who does, please feel free to share this video out. That's why I'm here, is to help others get free and stay free. All right, love you all.